Hi, in this video training of Node.js, we will be learning about a library or a framework called Electron JS. It is used for creating desktop apps. Electron is a framework that enables you to create desktop applications with JavaScript, HTML and CSS. These applications can be packaged to run directly from macOS, Windows or Linux, or distributed via the Mac App Store or the Microsoft Store. Typically, you create a desktop application for an operating system using each operating system's specific native application frameworks. Electron makes it possible to write your application once using technologies that you already know. The prerequisites are Node.js. Before proceeding with Electron, you need to install Node.js. We recommend that you install either the latest LTS or current version available. Please install Node.js using pre-built installers for your platform. You may encounter incompatibility issues with different development tools otherwise. To check that Node.js was installed correctly, type the following commands in your terminal client. So you can do this here, node-v, and you get the version number. So I have Node version 14.15.4. Now let's check the npm version, which is 6.14.10. The commands should print the versions of Node.js and npm accordingly. If both commands succeeded, you are ready to install Electron. Let's create a basic application. From a development perspective, an Electron application is essentially a Node.js application. This means that the starting point of your Electron application will be a package.json file like in any other Node.js application. A minimal Electron application has the following structure. So we have the package.json file, we have the main.js file, and we have index.html file. Let's create a basic application based on the structure above. First of all, how to install Electron. Create a folder for your project and install Electron there. So let's create the folder, my Electron app. Okay, I have the folder now, and I'm going to set permissions, my Electron app. Okay, now let's move into the folder and npm init y. Okay, now we have a boilerplate for our application. So we have package.json. This command npm init -y created the template for our application. Now let's install the Electron framework. npm I --save dev Electron. Okay, it is being installed. Okay, we have successfully installed Electron framework in our application. As you can see, we have the node modules and the package.json file is updated as well. So next, create the main script file. The main script specifies the entry point of your Electron application. In our case, the main.js file that will run the main process. Typically, the script that runs in the main process controls the life cycle of the application, displays the graphical user interface and its elements, performs native operating system interactions, and creates renderer processes within web pages. An Electron application can have only one main process. Okay, let's create the main.js file. Let me check the contents of package.json file first. Let's see what we have here. Okay, scripts, test, and main index.js. So we need to update this file as well. Here we need to change index.js to main.js. because by default when we kickstart our application, our program will look for index.js. So we need to change it to main.js to find our main file, that is main.js. So let's first create some variables. Import app and browser window from the Electron module. Okay, next create a function, create window function, and within that function let's create a window object, new browser window, and let's pass in some settings for the new window. We want the window to be 800 pixel wide and 600 pixels taller. Okay, let's define the web preferences here, and node integration should be true. Okay, that's it for our new browser window object. And after that we have created the win object, we need to load a file, that is an index.html file, which will be displayed in that new window. And at the end the next step is to fire the app.whenReady and then create window. Okay, then we need to define an event, window all closed, and we can have an anonymous function with arrow function here. If process dot platform is not equal to Darwin. By the way, Darwin is basically macOS operating system. App.quit, and there you go. After that we have the activate event. What we need to do on the activate event, you can have the anonymous function. If browser window dot get all windows dot length equals 0, let's create the window, run our create window function, and that's it. Save this file. Okay, let's move next. So what is going on above? On line 1, first you import the app and browser window modules of the Electron package to be able to manage your application's lifecycle events as well as create and control browser windows. On line 3, after that you define a function that creates a new browser window with node integration enabled, loads index.html file into this window on line 12, and this we will discuss later. On line 15, you create a new browser window by invoking the create window function once the Electron application is initialized. So this is app.whenReady. It checks the initialization status of Electron application. Then on line 17, we are adding a new listener that tries to quit the application when it no longer has any open windows. This listener is a no-op on macOS due to the operating system's window management behavior. This is the check for macOS. And on line 23, we have the activate listener that creates a new browser window only if when the application has no visible windows after being activated. For example, after launching the application for the first time, or relaunching the already running application. Okay, let's create a web page. This is the web page you want to display once the application is initialized. This web page represents the renderer process. You can create multiple browser windows where each window uses its own independent renderer. Each window can optionally be granted with full access to Node.js API through the Node integration preference. The index.html page looks as follows. This is a simple HTML page with hello world, and then we have the body style, background white. We have the paragraph tag saying we are using node document.write process.versions.node and document.process.versions.crom and electron version. So we are simply printing out the version numbers of node, chrome and electron because all these three are working together to give us this experience. And at the top we have the h1 tag that says hello world. So that's it for the HTML file. I'm going to create index.html file and let's copy it from the presentation so we can save time. Just going to copy this from here. We can continue with our video. So I have copied this and saved it as index.html, and you can see in the directory contents we have index.html now. Okay, modify your package.json file. Your Electron application uses the package.json file as the main entry point as any other Node.js application. The main script of your application is main.js, so modify the package.json file accordingly. We have already done that and we have changed index.js to main.js earlier. So if the main field is omitted, Electron will attempt to load an index.js file from the directory containing package.json. So if we remove this whole setting of main, Electron will attempt to load index.js file as a default. The author and description fields are required for packaging, otherwise error will occur when running npm run make. This is when you are trying to distribute application and create a package, final package to be used by other users. But by default, the npm start command will run the main script with Node.js. To run the script with Electron, you need to change it as such. So you can change the description, main.js and script start Electron. So let's edit package.json file and name is fine, version is fine, description I can type in my Electron app. Okay, main.js. Okay, in the scripts we need to add start and need to specify Electron. Okay, can get rid of, okay, we can keep test as well. This is for unit testing, so we can keep this for now. Okay, let's move to the final step, which is running your application. So save package.json and go to the console and npm start. Okay, let's start our application, npm start, and here we go. We have the desktop window and we have all the menus: file, edit, view, window and help. And we have our index.html file within this window. So if I close it and let's change the contents of the index.html file, I'm going to say this is just a start of developing desktop applications using Electron JS. Don't be surprised. Let's save this and let's start our application again. So we have the new content. This is just a start of developing desktop application using Electron JS. Don't be surprised. So this is that easy to develop your own desktop applications using Node.js and Electron. Okay, let's look at the application architecture of Electron. Electron consists of three main pillars: Chromium for displaying web content, Node.js for working with the local file system and the operating system, custom APIs for working with often needed OS native functions. Developing an application with Electron is like building a Node.js app with a web interface or building web pages with seamless Node.js integration. Main and renderer processes. As it was mentioned before, Electron has two types of processes, main and renderer. The main process creates web pages by creating browser window instances. Each browser window instance runs the web page in its renderer process. When a browser window instance is destroyed, the corresponding renderer process gets terminated as well. The main process manages all web pages and their corresponding renderer processes. The renderer process manages only the corresponding web page. A crash in one renderer process does not affect other renderer processes. The renderer process communicates with main process via IPC to perform GUI operations in a web page. Calling native GUI related APIs from the renderer process directly is restricted due to security concerns and potential resource leakage. Okay, let's look at the Electron API. Electron APIs are assigned based on the process type, meaning that some modules can be used from either the main or renderer process and some from both. Electron's API documentation indicates which process each module can be used from. For example, to access the Electron API in both processes, require its included module. To create a window, call the browser window class, which is only available in the main process. And to call the main process from the renderer, use the IPC module. In the renderer process, we can import IPC renderer from the Electron package and then call the invoke function of the render process. Because render processes may run untrusted code, especially from third parties, it is important to carefully validate the requests that come to the main process. To access the Node.js API from the render process, you need to set the node integration preference to true. Electron exposes full access to Node.js API and its modules both in the main and the render processes. For example, you can read all the files from the root directory. So you can use the file system module of Node.js and use that module to fetch the files from the root directory and so on. To use a Node.js module, you first need to install it as a dependency. So you can install it by using npm install. Then in your Electron application, require the module. Okay. Let me show you a quicker way of installing the boilerplate for Electron instead of creating all these files your own. So you can do, I am deleting the my Electron app from the folder. Okay, I have deleted that. So there is a repository on GitHub which provide you a boilerplate for creating Electron app, and that repository is electron/electron quick start, and I'm going to clone it into my Electron app. So you just need to hit enter. So we are cloning the repository into our folder on our computer. Okay, let's go into this folder. Let me first change the permissions for this folder. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to install the dependencies we need. Okay, dependencies are now installed and we are ready to run our application npm start, and there you go. So this is how you can simply create a boilerplate for your Electron JS application and get started with your new project. I hope that you have enjoyed this video training and learned that how you can create desktop apps using Electron JS and Node.js. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll be adding the GitHub repository URL from where you can clone the boilerplate for Electron JS applications in my video description, and that all you will be needing to start your own application in Electron JS. See you next time with a new topic in Node.js.